Hello, hello. Welcome back. Welcome. Particle systems today. Particle systems. Hooray. All right, cool. Today is particle systems. Let's get the cameras on. Zoop. Yo, what's up? Welcome back. Let's do it. Today is day 27, particle systems. Let's hop right into it. Let's hop right in. Particle systems, chapter 87. So close. We're so close to finishing this. It's amazing. Let's start reading though. This chapter is designed to give you a brief introduction to the creation of fully 3D particle systems, one of fusion's most powerful features. Introduction to particle systems. Anatomy of a a simple particle system distribution, particle nodes, explained by type, example particle systems. All right, introduction to particle systems. Nice. Particle systems are computer simulations that use customizable rules to automatically generate and animate large numbers of elements to simulate smoke, dust, fire, leaves, sparks, or any other animated system of shapes. As Fusion is a full-featured 3D compositing environment, particle systems can be created in 2D or 3D, which makes them flexible, incredibly flexible, and capable of producing all kinds of visual effects or abstract animated content for use in motion graphics. The three most fundamental nodes required for creating particle systems are found on the toolbar. As with the 3D nodes to the right, these are arranged from left to right in the order in which they must be connected to work. So even if you can't remember how to hook up a simple particle system, all you need to do is click the three buttons, the three particle system nodes from left to right to create a functional particle system. Let's do that. Let's open up our project for today, our project file. We're going to be making particles. And noodles. New project, day 27, particle systems. Oops. I'll check something real quick. Particle, yeah. All right, so workspace, if it's not showing up, you can show navigation at the bottom. Create a fusion comp. Yep. Doing this thing. Hopping into the fusion page. Let's click the button. 1, 2, 3. There we go. That's all, guys. See you next week. See you next episode. That's all. That was easy. Mission accomplished. However, these 3 nodes are only the tip of the iceberg. Okay, wait, there's more. There's more. Opening the particle category in the effects library reveals many, many particle nodes designed to work together to create increasingly complex particle interactions. So if we go over here, we go to effects, we go to templates, fusion, particles, here they are. Oh, these are templates. Actually, this is, I don't think that's what they meant. If you go to tools, you can go to tools and then over down here, particles. And then you have the individual pieces to the pizza pie that you're making of particles. Particle pizza pie. But if you go over here in templates, particles, you could just jump right ahead. Just skip the whole line. Just go straight to collect, straight to the go. Collect your 200 and you're done. That's it. Let's celebrate with some fireworks. Hooray! We did it. Okay, so all particle nodes begin with the letter P, and they're designed to work together to produce sophisticated effects from relatively simple operations and settings. The next section shows different ways particle nodes can be connected to produce different effects. Anatomy of a simple particle system. The simplest particle system you can create is a P emitter node connected to a P render. The P emitter node includes the core controls for creating various kinds of particles in different ways, while the P render node is required to render 2 or 3D result that can be composited with other effects within your comp. If your needs are more complicated, you can combine 2 or more P emitter nodes using a P merge. The particle system version of a merge node, particle merge, to create compound particle systems where multiple types of particles combine with one another to create a result. Ooh. If you're trying to create particle systems with more natural effects, you can add forces to each emitter. These forces are essentially physics or behavioral simulation that automatically cause the particles affected by them to be animated with different kinds of motion or to be otherwise affected by different objects within scenes. You can also attach the following types of nodes to a P emitter node to deeply customize a particle system. Attach a 2D image to a P emitter node to create highly customized particle shapes. Make sure your image has an appropriate alpha channel. Let's try that. Let's do attach a 2D image to a P emitter node. Let's start with that. Let's do that real quick. So we attach the 2D. Let's use make a background. Make the background a gradient because I took a peek before I started today, and that's what the guy on the tutorial was doing, so that's what I'm gonna try to do. Actually, those are cool colors, like a cyan to white. That's gonna look nice. I think we could just plug it straight in, no? Does it need to be... I need to do something here, don't I? Let's see, if we go to Tools, Particles, P Custom, or Not P render, P image emitter, right? Maybe. Let's try it. Plug that in, plug that in. No. Check out the book. Attach a 2D image to a P emitter node to create highly customized particle effects. So P emitter. So shape. Okay, so we can, before we go shape, we can just make a simple shape here. Let's make oval. No, let's do a shape 3D. Plug that in. Huh? Oh. P emitter. Oh, that's right, because I want to plug that in, this has to be, we have to set this to be, one of these, right? Point, yeah. Bitmap? Plug that in now? Now we can plug that in. There we go. Alright. Cool. We kinda, and there you go, water. We made Minecraft water, just like that. And then attach a shape 3D or other 3D geometry node to a P emitter node to create a more specific region or of emission. By setting region to mesh in the region tab. Okay, let's try that then. So by setting region to mesh. Region, mesh, okay. Disconnect that. Shape 3D, boom. Hey, there we go. And once it's, do we have to do anything else? Let's see, style. I bet it's not bitmap anymore, right? It's gonna be on and okay. No. Not sure how we did that, but I'm looking for these cubes. Point, not bitmap, not blob. Okay, so these are just different styles. Brush, no. And point cluster? Ooh, that looks good. That looks good. But I don't think it's, I think it's just a default setting. How do we get this to show up? We got it to eat it. Oh, we have to change this to 3D. The P render. Oh, it is 3D. If we were looking in that view, it was 3D. So, directional force. Oh. And then we could have the life, change the life of this to way longer. We want this thing to go on and on. So we can also make this 1,000. Or not. Thought we could. Pause that. 1,000. We gotta do that. Huh? Oh yeah, we have to go here on the edit page. Bring it out from here. There's probably also like an interpret footage option somewhere. Yeah, probably in here. All right, cool. Anyways, we got 972 frames. Exactly the number I was hoping for. And then we throw this on. And we got our particles doing their thing. Except that, oh, let's see. Oh. I'm referencing the manual. Can you believe it or not? That's going to region to mesh. Paint. Oh, this is not. I just plugged this in. Oh. Style, region, mesh, surface, volume. All right, so I think it's time to hit the good old handy manual. The above examples assume that you'll output 2D renders to combine into the rest of the 2D composition. However, because particle systems are fully 3D, you also have the option of outputting your particle system in such a way as to be used from within other 3D scenes in your comp. So you can have your scene, and then you can also have a 3D particle system that plugs into the merge 3D. The output mode of the p-render node at the very top of the controls exposed in the inspector can be set to either 2D or 3D, depending on whether you want to combine the result of the particle system with 2D layers or with objects in a 3D scene. If you connect the p-render node to the merge 3D node, the output mode is locked to 3D, meaning that 3D geometry is output by the p-render node for use within the merge 3D's node's scene. This means that the particles can be lit, they can cast shadows, and they can interact with 3D objects within that scene. The result of using a particle system within a 3D scene. So we kind of got that going, sort of. We don't quite have this P emitter hooked up correctly yet. We'll get there. Style point. Nope. Bitmap. There we go. All right. Right? I don't know about that. This shape. Let's do sphere. Huh. Huh? We got this sphere. That's the sphere. We got the shape plugged into the emitter. Blob? No. We want to see this blue sphere getting emitted. Emitting. Line? No. N-gon? No. Point cluster? No. N-gon? No. Region? Stars. Yeah. I'm liking point cluster for some reason. Point cluster looks cool. Don't know why yet. Particle system distribution. To adjust the distribution of particles being emitted, select the P emitter node to expose its controls in the inspector. Oh wait, what's this say? Once you set the p-render node to either 2D or 3D and make any change to the nodes in the inspector, you cannot change the output. Huh? Once you set the p-render node to either 2D or 3D and make any change to the nodes in the inspector, you cannot change the output mode. Honestly, I don't know what that means. Once you set the p render node to either 2 or 3D, so you have to like declare it for the first time and then you can't go back on that. You make changes to the nodes in the inspector, you can't change it back. Particle system distribution. To adjust the distribution of particles being emitted, select the P emitter node to expose its controls in the inspector. Then open the velocity controls in the controls tab and use the angle variance, angle Z, and angle Z variance controls to adjust the direction and width over which particles are emitted. At these controls, all these controls can be animated. So they're suggesting going into here and messing around with these buttons. Messing with the buttons. Cool. We do have a directional force thing. I added this before because it's one of these that I just clicked. I went boom, boom, boom to get it going. But let's see, this is a building block piece. 0. We're making a thruster. I don't know what we're making. We're messing around. Oh, haha. Hey man, how's it going? Welcome. Messing with particles today. To set up a particle system, you click this button, and then you click this button, and then you click this button, and bam, you got a particle system. Easy as that. Easy peasy. That does look kind of cool. Particles are, this is fun. This is like cool. Just look at it. My PC, I've got a 3080 with a lot of RAM, a 3080, and a Ryzen pretty good. What are the specs? I got 128 gigabytes of memory, and then the CPU is a Ryzen 9 12 core. But this is like this is just setting it up. This is a basic particle system. I think you should be able to set this up, at least to this point. We'll find out. I mean, that's what today is about. It's like figuring out what happens, how to blow the program up, how to blow our computers up. Hopefully we find all these things out today. So the particle system distribution, to adjust the distribution of particles being emitted, you can go into the settings in the P emitter and play around with this stuff. Just look at the things and move the buttons and then mess around with it. Yeah? Do you have a GPU? Like a graphics card? Actually, I don't know if I'm using the graphics card right now to render this. Field particles. Yeah, so I mean, I think you can just render it. At least at this point. Once you start plugging in like shapes, which I'm struggling to do at this point, but once you start doing that and like setting those up as the emitter, that's when it can kind of start hiccuping. But there's some things you can do to like pre-render it or even bake it. But we haven't gotten there yet. I don't even know how to bake it. I know it's possible, but oh, you have a 4050? That's beefy. 4050. What is it? I think no, you should be able to. If you have a 4050, that's going to be able to at least like just get some particles pooping out. Default particles. You got to go, this is the setup, right? You go a boom, boom, boom. Just those three in a row. Oh God. Make sure nothing's selected when you do that. Why are you learning from... Man, there's like this emoji thing. Oh, from the guide? You can watch tutorials too. 7HS. I mean, sounds like you should be able to do it. I'm learning from the guide because I want to cover everything. I want to at least like go through everything. I'm almost done with the fundamentals here. I've been streaming for like 27 days. 27 streams. Going through the guide. And I'll show you where we're at. So this is the fusion fundamentals, right? We've made it through here, and this is particle systems. So it took like about a month to stream 3 hours a day. So I went through this, messed around with each thing. I'm just trying to get like a good foundation. And it's the fundamentals, so the fundamentals, so it's like, you know, foundational. It's fundamental. So I don't want to miss anything as well. And there's like some core concepts that we cover. And then in the process, I'm learning how to stream. That's the format. But once we get through this, once we get through the fundamentals, you'll just have to wait and see. But so far, been good. Definitely feel like it's making sense now. Yeah, that'd be sweet. I would accept a reward from... I don't know if I'll get a reward. Congratulations, you're the one person who read the manual. Take this trophy. It's not even, it's only one section of the manual. Thanks. Appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. So we got a whole bunch of different particle effects that we can combine here. Let's throw one of them on. What should we do? Point force, directional force. Let's do vortex. Vortex, and let's remove this one. Ooh. Oh yeah, and there's another one here. I think it's like the way to make a an actual vortex. I think we need a gravity force, or at least a force in the middle that kind of like pulls it back together. It's like friction, follow, P emitter, directional force. Is it directional force? It might be. Let's try. Let's play around with a mix of vortex and directional force. Oh. All right. Okay. What? Why is it moving so much here? Oh. Anyways, vortex. If we mess with the strength, mess with the power, it's definitely spinning, but it's going down. Let's see, if we put this to 90, then we got an absolute jet stream. Zero. Okay, what if we just go back to vortex, delete this again. I'll also, I mean, yeah, we could reference how to do this from the presets here. We go to templates, fusion, particles. What are we looking for? Is one of these gonna look like a vortex? Portal? No. Matrix? No. Lens leak? I'm interested, but no. Galaxy swarm. Let's see what that is. That sounds fun. Ba-do, ba-do, ba-do. Okay, while that's loading. All particle nodes begin with the letter P, and they're designed to work together to produce sophisticated effects with relatively simple operations and settings. The next section shows different ways particle nodes can be connected to produce different effects. Anatomy of a simple particle system. The simplest particle system you can create is a P emitter node connected to a P render node. Yep. The P emitter node includes the core controls for creating various kinds of particles in different ways, while the P render node is required to render a 2D or 3D. If your needs are more complicated, you can build it out. If you're trying to create particle systems with more natural effects, you can add forces like turbulence, connecting a shape 3D or other 3D geometry node to a P emitter to create a more specific region of emission. So let's try and do that real quick, because I did set this up one time ago. Oh, this is cool though. We can turn this off. We can do Control P and it kind of shuts all of the things on there. Turns them all off. Because speaking of processors or rendering, I do notice there's some hiccups now. So trying to save space. If we have this emitter, let's make a mask, and this ellipse we can just make like that. Okay, that's our shape, and if we plug that in, doesn't quite do it yet. Plug that in. Yep. Yep. We got to change the style to bitmap. And then we have our thing. And with our thing here, I'm learning this on the fly, by the way, haha. So Yeah. So, yep. If we want to add a glow, seeing if a glow is going to work. Let's just do a regular glow. Regular glow. Does it make this stuff glow? Or maybe that's the wrong place to do that. Yeah, that doesn't look right. What we could do... I mean, that looks kind of cool on itself. No, but that's not... That's not right. Maybe click one of these buttons on and off. It's like pre-molt. There we go. Sweet. Yeah, sweet. And I guess there's a glow on that. And then we want to do P emitter. We want these things like spinning on the way out, don't we? Inherent variance. Angle variance. So you would think this would just be spinning by... Well, maybe we should go check out the spin tab. We just turn that up. I'll get a video clip. I got just the one. Unplug that. Good particle system, right? So let's see, absolute rotation, rotation relative to motion, right? What I'm trying to do is get these to kind of do their own motion. There's some vortex things happening, but that's not really what we want. We want to rotate this. Always face camera? Oh, there we go. There we go. That is actually what I was trying to do. Yeah. Nice. And what if I just like put these up? Mess with all these. Maybe put this, what, this is rotation. I'm wondering what's making this kind of tube looking thing. The velocity? Inherent. Let's just turn these down. Oh. Now it's just shooting a hose. Huh? We want velocity, but we want let's get rid of this. What happens? Okay. That's more or less what I was going for. Exactly as we calculated. The lifespan shouldn't be dying at that point though. Lifespan variance. As we put the lifespan to 1,000? Maybe something about the p-render? Pre-roll, restart, 3D. No. Going for 900. 972 frames. Huh. So it might be... Huh. Something about it. Something about it makes it go and die. But we want it to live. Live, my particle system. Let's see. 3D. We are in 3D mode. Double check that. Or that might be the thing that we don't need. It's in... Oh, this would be 2D mode. I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's pretty good in 2D mode. And then if you connect the p-rendered node to the merge 3D node, the output mode is locked to 3D, meaning that 3D geometry is output by the p-render node for use within the 3D node's scene. This means that the particles can be lit, they can cast shadows, and they can interact with 3D objects in the scene. And then particle system distribution. That's kind of what we were just messing around with. You've got the velocity here, the initial rotations, You can take this off so that they start being more independent and spinning on their own, which would look right if we do have this. Look, it's gonna make this look better. Yeah, now these look cool. Right? We want them to spin. We basically made rice. We made blue glowing rice. Delicious blue rice that glows. And now it spins. Use the angle variance, angle Z, and angle Z variance controls to adjust the direction and width over which particles are emitted. All these controls can be animated. That's something to keep in the back of the head. We're not going to get animating yet, because that's the next level. Let's just go through this first and mess around with these different things. Let's see if we could just like get. Okay, let's see if we can just get these blue glowy rice to chill, like be. Let's see if we can control it just a little bit. We definitely want this maybe to be 90. Is that gonna do it? That's not it. We want this to be 90. Blue glowy rice velocity. Maybe it's, I think it's velocity here. Let's see if we do 0. There we go. Okay. And what happens if we do that? Oh. But it's weird, it's like just blowing straight to the right. We kind of want... What if we do inherent? Like, what's that do? There we go. That's actually what I wanted. I wanted it to go be going both ways. Then let's see if we can kind of make it wider. What is the thing for wider? X? No. This one? How about we just smash all the buttons and see? That's kind of cool. Oh. All right. What? And let's slow it down. And while we're messing with this, I guess we can actually turn the amount of emissions down, so it's easier to get a feel for what it's doing. Oh, nice. Okay, wait, too much. This is we're controlling the blue rice. Okay, that's good. That's off to a good start. But let's see. Particle systems can be positioned and rotated by loading the P emitter nodes that generate particles into a viewer and using the on-screen 3D position and rotation controls provided to move the particle system around. So that's if you're in 3D. To get into 3D, you go into here on the render and you press the 3D button. And now we got our thing in 3D. I don't know why. It's like super reactive. Is that a button that I pressed? I feel like I did something to make it like super. Oh, maybe because this is such a wide field that when I grab this, it's like making me spin around the camera super fast. So that's something to try. If we just make another asset thing here, and I'm gonna make a text, and I'm gonna make a merge 3D. I'm gonna plug that in. I'm gonna plug that in. I'm gonna plug this in, and I'm gonna particles, and then sphere. So if we zoom way back in, Wait, now it's super slow. What the heck is going on? All right. Okay, anyways. Off to a decent start here. Universe expanding. What's the difference between velocity and velocity variance? Or number and number variance? Let me see. The universe expanding. Which one is the universe expanding button? You mean like this over here? This is the universe expanding. Prepare to have the universe expanded. Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na. Velocity variance. When the thing is variance, that means like how much it can change from one setting to the other. When particles were expanding, it means as a joke the universe is expanding. Oh yeah, no, I got you. It's the variance. So if there's no variance, it will just be consistent. So you see, like I didn't even do anything for the z. I'll set this to 0, and everything should sort of stop spewing to the sides like this. Yeah, so now it's straight. So everything is straight here. And if I change this, it's just gonna change the direction of this thing. This tube. So now it's just going that way. And now if I move it, it just goes that way. But so if I add the variance, that means like every single one, it's like, if I put it to 0, so the default, the beginning angle is this way. But if I set the variance to like 50, that means there's like changes of up to 50, but it's a variance. So it's like 50, and it's kind of like a randomization that's going on, but the randomization is from like 0 degrees to 50 and in between. Does that make sense? Did I explain that in a way? So if we really make this a lot, then it will be kind of just all over the place. I think it's got to be, what, 360? So now it's 360 degrees. So it's just going to be varying between every direction in the z direction. So now our rice is cooking. We got fresh rice on the way. And if we look in 2D, oh, that's right, we can't switch at this point. We've gone too far. We can't switch. But let's see. We can find Earth or world. What was it? If we go in Fusion and we go for shaders? Yes, shaders, and then we can go moon. And if we plug the moon into our shape, then it looks like the moon is spitting out rice that glows blue. Rice moon. And then we can copy this, paste instance, plug this in as well. Do the shading stuff, or we want to extrude it some, but then we disconnect, de-instance this stuff, de-instance that, and we also want to de-instance the color, because then we can do something. De-instance. Okay. If I turn this black, or actually no, we want blue. We want cyan. That's the rice moon. We'll make it a little smaller here. Put it wider. Why is it so slow to like drag across? What the heck? Come on. Okay. Yo, what is with that positioning? I don't get it. Why is that so hard to move? Huh. Okay. That is looking good. I don't know what it means. The text, it shouldn't be blinking, but what I just set up was to make it so that the two texts, if I just change this one and I call it the rice, it's still at, I made an outline. That's all I did. I made it so that this 3D text has an outline. And that's with this green thing, it's an instancing. So you basically, you connect these things and then you disconnect the extrusion type, these things in the extrusion, and then also you disconnect the color, the whole color group. And then you can mess with, you can change the text here and it will keep the style. Yeah, that's a good one. We need a cool text. The rice. I don't know where we're going with that, but that's where we're going. Yeah, where here, this one. No, can't use that one. Ooh, this one. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Let's change the moon real quick. Oops. Where's the moon at? Or not the moon. I want to just change the size of the moon. And what if we had a glow? Let's see, glow. What do we have to do here? To get this, I think we need a render 3D. Is that right? We need a render 3D or a camera. No. If we wanted to modify this thing, if it's in a render 3D, now I can add like a glow. Some more glow? We're just getting glow. This is our glow up. No, that's not the way to do that. Render 3D. Gotta think about that. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. It might be that I need to do... Oh, a light? I think you're right. By golly. I think you're right. Yeah, that's kind of... Let's see, if we're disconnecting all this stuff. So there's our merge 3D, right? And we'll move this thing here, and then the merge 3D and the renderer 3D gonna show up here, renderer 3D, and we gotta turn on and lighting and shadow, not shadow, but lighting. And is that on? Is that doing it? Intensity, can we turn this to 5? Doesn't look like it. I don't think anything's happening. I think I blew up. No. Looks alright. Maybe this needs to be here. This needs to go here. Nope. The rice. What about the moon? How do we get the moon? We want independent control over this thing, because we could just like slap a glow over everything. But we do want to like just get it on this, right? So let's think. If we've got the shape, this is just basically the texture for the shape. And then we plug in, we could light it. It doesn't seem to be doing anything. It's not rendering though, right? There we go. Okay. All right. So, because this brings up a new problem, which is like the particles look silly now. But let's fix this light, because right now it's on like a 10 jillion. And you know what? Instead of the moon, we're gonna do something cooler, which is use these things. We're gonna put a fractal on it. Bloop. Not that one. This one. Not that one. The rainbow one. The rainbow one, you can't go wrong. Okay, fire and water. That sounds right. That sounds... No. No. The rainbow one. You can't go wrong with the rainbow one. Where is it? Rainbow. Here, rainbow. Rainbow. Come on, where the heck? Rainbow slices. Nope. There we go. This is called shader toys. Inside of Workspace, you can go to Reactor. And you can download plugins, and one is called Shader Toys. And they look cool. So now we got a cool looking ball. We still didn't actually figure out how to make it glow. And the particles look bad now. I think instead of this ellipse, we want something with some dimensionality to it. Dimensionality. Bitmap, blob, brush, line, engon. Stars. That's not really it. But this kind of looks cool. All right, this is going somewhere. But every hour, I like to take a 5-minute break just to like take a moment to breathe. And so I will be right back. Thanks for hanging out. Haha. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Hope you're still around. But if you're not, thanks again for tuning in. BRB. Yo, 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 yo. Yo. Yo, yo. I am a G. Thanks for tuning in. So we're doing particles today. And you can position particles however you want using the rotation and position thingamajigs. And we've got particles, different emitter forces that we can add to them. Different particles. Let's mess around with some fusion. Then we go to particles here. Let's look through what they've got. Let's do a little detour looking into different presets. Here's one already. So this is the one that we're working on today so far. Let's just move that over here. Move that here. And Control P, that turns them all off to save the processing. Hey, haha. We're looking at, I'm taking a peek at some of the templates. I'm gonna look through kind of like theorize how they do this. I think in the process we'll probably figure out how to get ours the way that we want. But this is the embers. Looks pretty nice, doesn't it? Just a regular template. That's a pretty good quality there. Emitter shape. I think that's it. I think that's what we were missing. Emitter shape rather than I think that's what it was, right? We can do plane, cube, sphere, cone, ico. What about like a custom? Can't we like bring in our own? I would think. But let's see if we all right. So that was our answer right over there. Let's turn this on. Let's change this to emitter shape. Emitter shape. P, we're looking for P for particle. Are we? Emitter, there we go. P emitter? So here's another trick. Oh, that's not right. If you do Control Shift E, you can see what the actual name of the node is. So that is just a regular shape. Okay, but this does, it's the secrets to how to do this are still in this little template, just looking here, is that we plug the shape in, but we kind of connect the noise here. I think this is like the colorization. Where do we get the colors from? That's what I wanted. Material. Huh. Styles. On bitmap. P Shift E. I read the manual, man. That's the type of thing you learn if you read the manual. I read the manual. What can I say? It was a shortcut. I saw it when I was reading the manual and I was like, "Ooh, that's a good one. I'm gonna remember that." And then I remembered it. But I don't know how they get this glow in the dark, or not glow in the dark, but how they get this orange like ember glow. Let's see. Let's see another one. Let's take a look at this. We got firework, p-render, merge, renderer. What's this one look like? Not loading. Let's turn this one off. check fast noise. Here we go. Oh, okay. So the bitmap. Oh, that's right. If you like click and drag over this, you can select where it goes into. If you alt click and drag. Oh, no, it's mesh input. Mesh input. So then we'll connect those kind of like this. Let's try that. I finally found the color. Finally. Ugh. We plug that in. Plug that in. And let's turn this back off. Control P. Plug this in. I think it's taking a while to load. We got software render. We could change this to hardware, which I think it's changing it to hardware is faster, but it's sometimes it's like not accurate. Sometimes it needs to be on software. I think for lighting. Not sure about that. Anyways, let's see if we can get something previewed. What is going on here? We go back. Okay. In the P emitter, we need to set this to bitmap. And that looks like it should, that should be good. What if we try a cube? Doesn't seem to be working. The thing that's happening is like the shape 3D, for whatever reason, is not being used. We hop over here. The shape, controls, cylinder, radius. It's a little different, isn't it? Cube mapping? What is it? Cylinder. Get this to, let's do cylinder just like there's caps, bottom and top. Okay. Subdivisions, make it smaller. About restart. Restart. How can we get this thing to poop out our squares, our cylinders? How to get it pooping out the right thing? I don't know. Let's bring it back though. When we get a little off, when we're not sure of the answer, we bring it back to the manual. Alternatively, you can use the controls of the P emitter regions tab in the inspector to adjust translation, rotation, and pivot. All these controls can be animated. Here we go. Particle nodes explained by type. This section introduces the 4 types of particle system nodes available in the effects library. Is it better? It's probably because I was doing some stuff. Let me know. It's getting muted. How about now? I don't know how to check that. I think it's all right. Looks like it's all right. Feels all right. But yeah, I mean, it's no coincidence. Things start to break, so we bring it back to the manual. Hey, BD, how's it going, man? What's new? We're doing particles today. Just got done watching a film. What'd you watch? For the 13th time. You watched a film for the 13th time. What the? What movie was that? What movie did you watch 13 times? Oh, let's change this playback. Let's reduce this. Put it to a quarter. Should have done this a while ago. On. Oh, 1917. Nice. Yeah. Do you, is it like a personal favorite? Or is it like a film that you kind of study? Or is it a film that you just enjoy watching? Get some snow. Ooh, that's nice. This is nice. Snow is nice. Does that show up on the stream? All these things keep rendering for one, like. One of the most truly masterful works of cinematography. Masterful Execution by Sir Roger Deakins. I gotta rewatch it. I only saw it. I didn't give it a good. I need to revisit that. I was watching Hateful Eight right before I streamed. I might. I don't know. I wasn't so into it. It was only like the first few chapters. It was like paused at chapter 3 right now. We'll see. I might switch over, just rewatch 1917. Hmm. Okay, let's go off of the snow because it seems like it's kind of hard to see. There's somebody. Hey, haha, haha. If you're still there, man, um, the best place to hang out during the stream is over at Twitch. If you can make the journey from YouTube to Twitch, that'd be a great place to hang. BDR, do you mean 1917, right? Oh, that's cool. So it's really kind of like a film you just love to. Do you study it or do you just kind of watch it out of enjoyment? Oh, whoa, that's cool. So the vortex, this is still not like, this is not like a proper vortex still, right? Just kind of like particle, or no, they're moving. That's a vortex. I want to figure out how to get like a stronger central pole. E flock, I think that's actually the number. Flock number, follow strength, attract strength. Turn this up. Nope. $19.17. That repel strength, if we turn that way down. Base? Use sets to calculate. Base, what if we turn these down? Block number, conditions, region. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not totally convinced by this quite yet. Let's see. Let's keep reading here. Emitters. P emitter nodes are the source of all particles. Each P emitter node can be set up to generate a single type of particle with enough customization so that you'll never create the same type of particle twice. Along with the P render node, this is the only other particle that's absolutely required to create a particle system. So we've got P emitter nodes have 4 parameter tabs. Controls, primary controls governing how the particles are generated, how long they live, how fast they move, and how widely distributed they are, their rotation, and whether there's spin. Each one has a variance control to help with the randomization in those settings. There's sets. This tab contains settings that affect the physics of the particles emitted by. Oh, sorry. Haha, my Twitch is. If you do, here, send it. There's the Style tab, which is, while the Controls tab has a simple control for choosing a color for particles, the Style tab has more comprehensive controls, including color variance and color over life. Oh, color over life, that's where you can do stuff. Additionally, size controls, including size over life, fade controls, and blur controls, lets you create sophisticated particle animations with a minimum of adjustments, while merge controls give you an additional level of control over how overlapping particles combine visually. A set of controls at the bottom lets you choose how animated effects are timed. Itis Anna Rude. Aha! Welcome. You made it. You made the journey from YouTube to Twitch. Yeah, I like when people are hanging out that we're on Twitch, and then for the replays to be on YouTube. I would say that Mean Streets and Boys in the Hood are two of my favorites. Mean Streets. I know Boys in the Hood. Mean Streets. I gotta up my movie chops. Oh, that's right, Scorsese. Yep, you were saying. Boys in the Hood. Man, it's been so long since I watched that movie. That's a good one. There's style. While merge controls give you an additional level of control over how overlapping particles combine visually, a set of controls at the bottom lets you choose how animated effects are timed. And then there's region. The style is pretty interesting. We should just play around with style. Region. The region tab lets you choose what kind of geometric region is used to disperse particles. Oh, that's how they kind of got this space. What's crazy is that John Singleton made that film when he was 22 years old. That is crazy. Oh my god. Damn. I gotta get to work. I gotta get more done. 22 years old? What? The youngest person ever to win an Oscar for Best Director at 24 years old. Damn. Wow. Amazing. Tweaking these last parameters is common when using imported mesh geometry as a region. That's what I was trying to do. Wait, so region, since even geometry that appears closed will frequently appear to leak particles thanks to improperly welded vertices. Interesting. There's forces. Many of the particle nodes found in the particles bin of the effects library are forces that enhance a particle simulation by simulating the effect of various forces acting upon the particles generated by an emitter. Some forces, including P directional force, P flock, P friction, P turbulence, P vortex, are rules that act upon particles without the need for any other input. These are simply acts of nature that cause particles to behave in different ways. Other forces, such as avoid, bounce, follow, kill, work in conjunction with 3D geometry in a scene, such as shapes or planes, to cause things to happen when a particle interacts or comes near that geometry. Note that some of the particles described previously can also use geometry to direct their actions, so these two categories of forces are not always that clear-cut. Compositing. The particle merge node is a simple way to combine multiple emitters so that different types of particles work together to create sophisticated results. It has no parameters, you simply connect it. Rendering. The p-render is required whether you're connecting a particle system's output to a 2D or 3D node for integration in a 3D scene, along with... Yo, Michael! You're late, man. You're late. No, you're just in time. Just in time. You're right on time. We're messing with particles. And it's tricky. It's a bit tricky. I'll show you what... This is one of the default particles. Here, I'll show you how to set up a particle system. Okay, you ready? Ready? Here's the tutorial. You click this button, and then you click this button, and then you click this button, And that's it. That's the end of the tutorial. That's all you got to know. The end. That's it. Yep, that's it. Just click those 3 buttons. That's it. And then in here, you in the P emitter. So P emitter is like the regular old thing. Actually, we don't even need this one. This is the basic. So we got some particles here. We got particles right here. We can change the velocity or the variance. Number. We could turn the numbers down. Turn the lifespan up just for ourselves. Position variance? I don't know. But the velocity, we want to turn velocity up. Now it's kind of spewing. And we want to do some angle variance. So now it's like shooting all over the place. If we do 360, then it's literally shooting everywhere. And then if we do, I think this one, then that's like shooting everywhere, right? And then what we did before over here was we make an ellipse, we make a gradient, and then you connect it, and then you have rice. You have blue glowy rice. And if you plug in a glow, that makes it glow. Now, oh. What? Oh wait, we gotta put it over here. Oh. That oval sort of particle. Yeah, this is the shape that, this is the particle source. Plug the glow after the background. Plug it in. Yeah. Now we got blue glowy. Oops, not that. Not that. No. Yeah, and there's this other thing where it's like there was like some scenario where when you set this up, after you set it, you can't really change the 2D, which is a bummer. Also, Michael, if you know why, I can't figure. I'm not too sure. I think it's because something about like how I'm grabbing something about this particle system is making it so that the camera's kind of weird. If I'm zoomed in, I don't know. Now it seems okay, but sometimes it like, I don't know. It seems like it's super wide. It's like a wide round. Super slow. Yeah, sometimes it's super slow, and then right now it's like very fast when I'm trying to orbit. When I'm trying to orbit this thing, it's going so fast. And I think it might be because there's kind of like an invisible area for this particle system. And when I try to orbit, it's like grabbing it. And it's just making like the orbit spot too big, I think. What is up with this camera? Where's this camera from? Yeah. And then I was messing with this. A focus button. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not like, I'm not really feeling the whole particle systems and doing this inside of Davinci Resolve. I don't know. Like it zooms in on the thing you want to orbit around. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm curious about. If it's if I'm just like not really, it's possible that I'm not orbiting correctly, or I could do something differently. But it also might just be that we're kind of poking at the limits of 3D, the 3D workflow inside of Fusion. Maybe not a fact, not confirmed. But like this, why I am flying around, like I'm trying to grab that point and rotate, orbit. Well, we could get a camera in here, right? If we throw a camera, throw it onto the merge. If we pop that open, hop into the camera. Actually, hop into the camera here. Camera, hop in. And we move this back. And we have to turn on some things. Output hardware? Does it need to be software? Okay. Where are particles? Huh. Example particle systems. Let's go through the particle systems again and kind of take a peek around. See how to set these things up. So example particle systems, the templates category in the inspector in the Fusion page of Davinci Resolve or in the bins window in Fusion Studio includes over 20 different examples of particle systems creating a variety of effects. One of the best ways of learning how to create and customize particle systems is to open these and investigate how they're made. Let's do that. So I'm gonna turn this off. Then we can hop over to this one. We were looking at this before. Takes a second to load. Simply drag and drop any of the particle presets into the node editor. Load the last node into the viewer and you'll see how things are put together. And that's it. That's the end of that chapter. So let's see if we can load this up. I want to load this up and then hopefully we can get this one to work as well. Right now we're not getting any of them to work. Camera perspective. Huh? Huh? Oh, because it's too far here? The heck is going on here? The emitter. Let's start cleaning this stuff up. Let's organize this. Let's get this out of there. Not too much. Throw this in here. Yeah. Okay. That's not the right one, but all right. Okay, we're looking at this one, I guess. So let's put this over here and let's load this over here. And we could move our camera a lot closer. Oh, that's the camera I moved further back before. Okay, well, it's fun and cool to fly cameras through particles, isn't it? A little hard to see though, isn't it? We do, let's make a background. I just plug it in. Gotta merge it. A little tough to see. I get the up. Okay. Merge that. Switch those. This is the background. Okay. There we go. Still kind of hard to see, right? I don't know what to do about that. Ooh, that looks cool. What if I make the particles bigger? Position, velocity, rotation, style, color, style, noise, blob, size. Bigger. That doesn't explode the computer. Ah. Wow. Let's make these blobs huge. No, it's too much. It's too big. We gotta turn that down. That's too much. Those are too big. Put it to like there, that much. Okay, so anyways, we got the P emitter like usual. And it goes into a P spawn, which is interesting. I think that probably means a P spawn. Spawn. And then it goes into a vortex, which is what we're the spinning. And then a P flock. The strength, the track number, repel strength. I don't know what any of these block. I'm trying to find which one is like the gravity force. I just want to like pull. The cool thing, the way to make like a cool vortex is to have a force in the middle that's pulling the particles in, and then they're spinning and like getting pushed out. But like that's like how a cool. I know how to do that from Unreal Engine, but I don't know which one is the force that like. I mean, I thought it was this. Try turning up the strength. Mm-hmm. And again, we can maybe turn this one back off. And also turn this one off. And that's it. That's all we got going on. And turn down the playback settings, workspace, playback. I'm gonna this. And you know what? I feel like we might as well just follow some tutorials for today because I'm a little stumped with like how to properly set up We tried to set up the shapes before, but we didn't really get the result we were looking for. How to get a shape as the emitter, like a 3D shape as the emitter. Search point force. Ooh, okay. I will. I'll give that a try. Let's try to set this up. Point force. We go here, 1. Dude, yeah, you're lucky that you. I'm unable to function on little sleep. You said you flew to Japan and were able to just like didn't matter. I don't have that ability. If I don't sleep, I'm like doesn't really doesn't really work for me. Oh, I think I kind of see it's doing a little gravity. Hmm. Huh? Kind of looks like something's happening in the middle there. But I thought this whole thing that I have here. Speedy, you should sleep, man. I recommend sleep. I'm a big proponent of sleep. That's how I do half of the learning on this show. It's like I blast my brain and then I sleep on it. When entering, when leaving, when not intersecting, when inside region. There? How much sleep? How much sleep do you need? Like, can you survive off of? I mean, what's your number? I'm scared to know. I'm scared for you to say, but how do we here bitmap Bezier? And let's see, vortex. What? What are you talk? What? One? What? Of? Are we talking about the same thing? You're saying 1 hour of sleep is all? What? Dude. Dude, what? Are you? Are you joking? I don't think that's like a survivable amount. You're saying you need 1 hour of sleep a day? That's what you live on? How are you gonna live? How are you gonna have a? How are you gonna survive with 1 hour? Okay, whatever. We need clarification on that. Because I'm not. I can't. It's too hard for me to wrap my head up. Are we getting? I think we're getting something here. I don't know. These particles are, you know. Let's see. Let's do something. We don't usually do this, but no need to not do that. Which is, let's watch a tutorial.
Into particle.
Let's check out some tutorials. Because we need a little help, I think. At least I do.
And we have all the particle tools here. You can also come up to the effects, come into tools, and then in here, particles. They're all the same tools, right? Different ways to look at them. Actually, let's leave this open. I don't really use this often or that often. So we're going to start with this image emitter. And that's going to take in this image here and then emit. And so let's just connect that over. And one thing you'll notice is it's red. And that's because in a particle system, there's a whole bunch of processes that are going to happen in there, and then it has to render out into pixels. And so to get it to render out, if we look through here, we can see that there's a renderer. So we'll grab the renderer and we will pipe that into here, and now they're all good. And if we go like that, we can see that it is solid, right? Doesn't really look like particles, it's just pretty solid. So if we come into the emitter, we have this density here that we can change. So let's change this to like 0.2, 0.2. Okay, so now we're getting kind of like little dots there, a little dot grid. That might work. But I think
That's cool. I want to do this. I'm just going to follow. I'm going to do this. So we get a background. We make a gradient. Make the gradient teal. Let's stick with the cinematic teal orange. Hot to cool to hot. And then we plug it into a P image emitter. And then we do this one, P render. And then we see this. And you got BD. He said 1 hour and then he just dropped, he just passed out. He wasn't able to confirm that. He's rest in peace, but in resting terms. Nothing else. Rest nicely. Oh, still here. I thought you just passed out. We 1 hour of sleep a day. I would absolutely just drop. I would not. That is like, I mean, like literally impossible for me to do that. To sleep 1 hour a day. I mean, that's impossible for me. I mean, it just, I cannot even imagine how. I can't. I mean, having trouble with that. Dude, I can't believe you do that. Why don't you sleep? And speaking of, why isn't this showing up? Let's see, settings. What's going on here? Come on. Transparency, overscan, 3D, show. Oh, poop. You said 1 hour of sleep and my camera froze. My brain stopped working when I heard you say that you sleep 1 hour a day for a week. I mean, oh. Let me refresh this. Let me see if I can deactivate. Activate. There we go. I don't know how that's possible. It's too heavy. Yeah. Particle emitter. Controls. Let's turn down the amount. I don't know. Michael, what do you think? I mean, I'm not. Maybe I'm. Maybe it's because I'm struggling with these particles, but probably going to use particles. I'd probably use Unreal Engine or composite and stock footage, stock effects.
I want to change the size of.
Use something else? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe just trying to wrap our heads around this one. But I feel the same way. Like I haven't seen this is kind of cool what this guy's doing.
Of the dots a little bit more. So I want to show you something else that you can do. We can grab, let's say, a background. We'll grab another background, clicking on it. Coming over here to the inspector, we're going to turn off this auto resolution and make this 50 by 50. Okay, let's go back over to color and change this to white. If you're on a Mac, this looks a little different, but you can still get to white, or you just change all these values to 1 to get a white. And if we view this quick, that is our box. Let's grab an ellipse tool. So we can grab it here, or you can hit Shift Spacebar to bring up this tool, and then we can just type ellipse. And then there's our ellipse tool. We just hit Enter. And we're just going to take our ellipse tool and connect that into our background. Now we have a little circle. And if we come into our particle emitter and then come up here to style, we can switch this style to bitmap, and then we can drag this in because now there's a new point there. So if we view this now, it's kind of looking the same how it was. It's just obviously a bit bigger. So let's go into size, and we could shrink this size down. So you can see there. Now we have all of our particles. Let's actually bring this down just a little bit more. Let's do like 1 by 1. Okay. So there we are. Now, let's, we're still looking at this in three-dimensional space because you can see like this background here. And so to actually view this in 2 dimensions, we're going to have to make this into a 3D system. So along the end here, there's some 3D tools. We can also bring them up. So we're going to have to get and this is Shift Spacebar, bring the select tool up. If we type in camera, we can get the 3D camera, go back in there again, and then we get the renderer, the 3D renderer. There we are. So now we have both of these nodes. And in the particle renderer, we just want to make sure that the output is 3D and not 2D. So we're going to make sure it's 3D. And then we can connect the out of the camera into the out of the renderer, and it'll make a merge. So you can see there. And then this merge, 3D merge, we're going to go into the renderer. Now I'm going to pop up 2 views here, so we can see 2 views. And I'll view the renderer over here, and then the particle, or excuse me, the 3D merge right there. So now if I take a look at this, let's close this. We get a little more space here. If we take a look at this, we can see that our camera is pretty much up against this grid here. And so I'm just going to hold down Alt or Option and then middle mouse button, and we can rotate this. And then we can grab our little widget because we currently have the camera selected. And we can pull the camera back. And now over here in the rendered, this is the rendered version, we can see that now. So I'm just going to zoom out by hitting Command or Control and then scrolling out with mouse wheel, holding down middle mouse wheel to move around like this. Takes a little bit to get used to the controls for the three-dimensional space, but you will get it after a little bit of time. Okay, so now that we have that, the last thing I'm going to do, since this is transparent in the background, is I'm going to grab another background and change this background color to like a dark blue. So we'll do something like that, and then drag the out of the 3D renderer into the out of the merge, or excuse me, the background, which will then make another merge. And then if we view it, we drag it over here, we can see that grid. So let's go into our particle renderer, and we'll click this little button right here, clicking on the emitter, the image emitter over here, then clicking this button, and then we can play with this to rotate this. As you can see, now we're having it on like a little plane there. We can rotate it around, something like that. And then let's look at my camera again. We're going to go in a little bit on the camera. So we can see that we have a really hard edge here, as well as hard edges around the back, and we also don't have any motion. So let's add in some of the motion, because I think the motion's pretty cool. But let's open this back up so you can see all of the nodes here. And so what we're going to be grabbing here is we're going to grab this gradient force. And we'll add that in. If we drag from here and we drag over the line, we can see that the line turns blue and yellow. We can drop it, and then it'll automatically be connected up. The other thing that we have to, there's another input here is for the image. So let's go up and grab a fast noise. You can also come in here and type in fast to get the fast noise. So fast noise, and now if we connect our fast noise up to this,
Okay.
and then we come into here, we can change the strength here, but we need to move our mouse or our playhead in a little bit. So this little orange line. So we bring this in a little bit, and we can see that we're now getting some motion. So if we
That's cool.
motion, right? So this is how it's looking. And yeah, so that's how it's looking, but we can still see that we have this edge, right? So we're almost there. We just need to fix this edge here. And so to do that, this background here, we're just going to grab a mask, a rectangle mask, and then connect the rectangle mask in, right? And if we just view just this, we can see that we have our rectangle mask. We can make this slightly bigger, so let's just go into fit. We'll close that for now. We can grab the corner here and drag it out. And then on the over here, we can turn the soft edge up a little bit, and we'll make that edge real soft. But the biggest thing here is if it's going soft, we want it to go soft and completely disappear before it gets to the edge, or else it has a weird like edge that it looks kind of bad. So now if we view this, we'll just see how it looks now. Whoops, let's view the whole thing. See how it looks now. It looks all right. It looks okay, but I wanted to spice this up just a little bit more, because if we look down here, we can see that all of these dots are the same size, right? So I want to change these dots a little bit. So to do that, what I'm going to do, we have some
More spice.
Is we can see that this here, all of these colors, we could use all the colors, or we could use the alpha. It's really up to you what you want to use. We can use the color, the alpha, and I'll show you both of them quickly. So before all of this stuff, right in here, so we have our particles being emitted, and then it goes into all of the movement and then the renderer. Let's open this up again. And the thing that we're going to be working with is this P custom. So if we bring the P custom in, this has a lot of different tools. Obviously, we have number in, so we can map these values here. But then there's this particles. And if we click on that, we have a bunch of different controls that we can change a bunch of stuff for the particles, right? There's a lot of different parameters in here that we can change. So let's connect this up. So I'm just going to disconnect, then connect in, and then connect over. And in this P custom, if we look over here, we have a size. So the size, we can change that up with a lot of different values. So let's try taking the alpha, and we'll come in here, we'll put in alpha, the A, right, because that's that value there. And if we look at this, it's probably going to render wrong, but if we just look at the render, we can see that they are way too big. They're all just overlapping. That's why it looks kind of bad like that. So if we just come in here and we divide that by, let's do 200, we can see that it's kind of coming back, right? So what we can do is we can divide this by, let's do n1. And so we're taking alpha, we're dividing by n1. n1 is going to be, if we come up here to numbers, this is going to be the number in 1, right? So that's the n1. And so now if we put this to 200, we can see that now we have those dots back. So let's connect this back up, and let's actually view this. And what we can see is if we zoom in here, we can see our particles are changing in size.
Oh.
We can see our particles are changing in size as they're getting this gradient over here, right? So if I was to come in here, and let's say we increase this significantly, we can see that it's, the dots are bigger here, and then they're getting smaller. If we change this, actually, let's get this side by side so you can actually see what we're doing. So we're just feathering out this edge, and as we feather out the edge, it's changing the size of our dots, right? So that will get a nice fall off everywhere on this. I think that looks pretty pleasant. Only thing that I really don't like about this is these lines are going kind of straight onto the camera. So let's go back into this merge 3D, and let's view it over here. And then we'll click on the particle emitter, and remember we had it set up. So if we just rotate this ever so slightly, like that maybe. Now they kind of, dots seem like they're all over the place. And if we look at all of our edges, it just kind of looks like it just kind of rolls off because the dots get small. It's almost like what's referred to as halftone, right? It's pretty cool. So now we have that. So the, changing the size. So if we come in here, we can change this value up to whatever we want. So if we go to like 250, they're going to just get overall smaller, right? And then they fade off. So you can change this value to whatever you want. Because we have divide currently, the bigger this number gets, the smaller they're going to get. The smaller this number gets, the bigger the particles will get. So coming back, it's kind of flat, and then over time, it is adding in that motion. So it looks like there's a lot right here. If we come into our fast noise, this is going to be the thing that's really making all of the changes here. We can come into rate here, and we can change this, right? And so what that's doing, let's just view this. That's just making it move, right? So before, we had it at 0, so it stays like this. And so what it's doing is over time, it's giving the same force to the same set. So all of the particles that were right in the middle, they're all getting pushed the same force. If we change the rate here, then all of the particles are getting different amounts over different frames. So that gives us a kind of little wilder look overall, right? And so right now it doesn't look like much is moving. That's because they're all getting that force, right? So what we have to do is then go into our force control here, and let's change this value to something a bit more. Okay, well that's probably too much. Let's go to 1, and maybe 0.5. Okay, so we can see that now we're having a bit more movement there, as you can see, right? So it's just playing around with these two controls really until you get something that you like, honestly. The fast noise itself, we can change the size of it, right? So this will obviously impact the overall a bit more. Okay, we need to bring this down. But yeah. I think we can actually switch this over to OpenGL, and then we could come in here to anti-aliasing and turn this high rate down, and we should probably get faster rendering. Okay, there we go. So there's a lot of different controls that we have to manipulate our particles here, but it really comes down to, and I don't really like the size being that big, so I bring it down a little bit. But the other thing too is down here, they're kind of going away. So let's come back into the image emitter, and then we can change this lifespan to something more. So this project is only 114 frames, but we'll change the lifespan to 200 frames, and so now they'll just be on screen the whole time. So yeah, there we go. And it's just, like I said, playing around with these two different values here until we get something that we like a bit more. Then we can always come in, maybe change how fast it moves. So once we get something that we actually like, the only other thing that I had was the actual text. And so in here, I just put in whatever I want, and we will connect that up to the end, and we'll view that. And I had like a little flicker effect in here. And so I can quickly show you how that flicker effect worked. If I come in, let's just view just this, right? If I come in here, I right click, I go into follower, I can then, that's a modifier, and change the delay. So I just change it to 1 frame, and I switch the order to random 1 by 1. And then we can go into shading. And all I did is I came to the beginning, I made the first keyframe 0, and then came in a bunch of frames, however many you want, bring it up to like 7-ish, and then come in a bit more, maybe like half of whatever this distance was, bring it way down, and then come in a little bit more, and then go full. So now, when I play that back, it looks like they were flickering, right? And you can obviously play with that a little bit more, maybe not so thin. And there you go. That's how we got that whole flicker effect going. And then we put that onto the video, and actually on here, white and probably a little lighter.
Looks clean.
But yeah, that's how that was added on. Oh, the other thing that I also added in over here with this, because it starts off on screen and there was no movement, so I just decided, hey, let's take this rectangle, duplicate it. So Control-C, Control-V, duplicate the second one, because it's two masks going into one another. We have this paint mode now. I can turn this to multiply. And so then all we're going to do is just take the second one, and we will slide it off screen like that, keyframe, and then come in some frames, and then just change that value to 0.5, right? So then it just kind of comes in like that. And because they were both the same, it will always have the soft edge on all the sides. And remember, the soft edge is changing the size of the particles. So as it's coming in with small particles, and the particles are getting bigger. But yeah, that's how that came in. So you can always play around with the timing on this to get something that you like. Obviously, the one that I made at the beginning here does look a little bit better, but that is pretty much how it was all made. Let's go back to that previous version. We'll load that version in here. Oh, the colors are even better. Yeah, so that's how that was made.
All right, that was cool. let's go take a 5-minute break and let that set in. Pretty cool effect. Yeah, let's take that 5 minute though. I will be right back in 5. 5-minute break. 5-minute break. P image emitter. I don't think this thing is working right now. I think 3D options, show global options. What if we turn all this stuff off? Break is over. We're back from break. And our particle thing. Okay. Huh? Huh? What am I missing here? Why do I see nothing? Let's try another particle. Another fusion comp. Let's see. We can do it here. Hop in. Particles. Okay. Okay. All right. So we're back. Let's see. I'm looking at how to set up that. I want to follow what that guy was saying about how to set up P image emitter. P image emitter. And we're going to set a background thing. Background 2. Like this. And then we're also setting a ellipse into it. In the background, we can set it to really small, 50 by 50. And we plug this in, just like that. And then plug in, because we got to change this to different style, bitmap. Now this plugs in, like that. And then we're gonna get a P custom. Actually, let's make this a gradient. What are the two best colors? What are the two best colors that we should use? Oh, I got some colors here. Let's, instead of white, I'm gonna use yellow. Cyan and yellow. Those are good colors. On this channel, we only use good colors. That's pretty, yeah, those are good colors. 100% based colors. What was it? So instead of ellipse, we can do a rectangle and then do a soft edge for it. That's kind of, nah. What do you mean, nah? Those are the best colors. Tell me two colors that are, when combined in a gradient, are better. We can't name them. There's none. And then this was set up to be a P. What is this? P gradient. P black and white. I mean. Merge 3D. It's like I'm reading from a cookbook right now. Looking at this guy's node tree. He had a camera 3D. Plug it in. Why are there no nodes? Like, what's up with the nodes for me? I don't know. Region, bitmap? Was that it? Bitmap, region bitmap, sphere, cube, bitmap, bitmap. Man, I don't know. I feel like I'm just, it's too early for me to make generalizations about these particles because I think overwhelmingly I'm just kind of struggling when it comes to these. But that's all right. We don't have to be, you know, pick and choose. Pick and choose what other things.
We'll just hit enter. And we're just going to take our ellipse tool and connect that into our background. Now we have a little circle. And if we come into our particle emitter and then come here to style, we can switch this style to bitmap, and then we can drag this in because now there's a new point there. So if we view this now, it's kind of looking.
Yo, I don't know. I think something's like not working. Is it just me? Render. Okay, so let's render. And it's got to be 3D. It is. Scene, grid, image. Huh. What? Maybe make this white. Don't think it matters. Switch these. Oh. 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 Yes. We're doing something. It's been a while since something happened. Okay. Let's make them like this. Oh. Oh, you know what? Here's what we want. We want Hellcat. That's... And we just plug it in like that. Yes. Yes. There we go. There we go. Okay, now things are getting good. All right. We don't even need the media pool anymore. We know we've gotten to our destination with Hellcat. We're gonna hop into the camera. It's beautiful. Hop into the camera. 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 What the? There we go. Okay. And then ability. Do we need a renderer? Renderer 3D. Should be good. Should be good. Let's see. We got this rectangle. This is... Let's make this sharper. We don't need the soft edge. We want crisp Hellcat. And let's see, if we just like mess with the size of this thing, does that... Trying to figure out what's doing what. Make it like that big. The emitter. Maybe it's this thing. Size controls. Size Size variance. Oh. Size scale. Size over life. Can add another point. So this is, so it comes on. It's birthed. It's confused. It goes, huh? And then it disappears. It's like, oh, it's so good. My God. We go size to velocity, size, color controls, fade control, merge controls, blur, depth of field. So we could do particle age. That will have the size over life. Okay, that's not really, not exactly what I'm going for. Oh, kind of cool. But that looks like pretty glitchy. That looks like you ever seen data, what's it called? It's like an effect called data mashing. Data mash? Like an aesthetic. Data mash. Is that what it's called? No. Data. Data. Wow, what was it called? Not VHS, but it's like it's a pretty cool effect. This is actually kind of cool. I don't know like how we're doing it, to be honest. We have this as the, this is not connected. So this is our only thing. That's how we're getting this size. And then the rectangle. What if we make these particles a lot smaller? A lot smaller. Like a lot smaller. Tiny. There we go. There we go. Actually, that's working. That's working now. It's like yeah, the reason it's like fading on and then fading out is because of it's the size controls. It looks like a fingerprint. Yeah. That's, if I did a fingerprint, it would be the hunk cat. It'd be this. It'd be smudges of the hunk cat. But the size control, the size over life. Huh? This looks kind of like the Star Wars projections. And I think we want less particles actually. Controls the density. Density? Turn the density down. Oh, that's kind of cool. And we could put any clip on here. Oh, this is cool. Like, if we have footage, let's see. Let's try and do something cool with in the last hour here. This guy from yesterday. We're gonna tracker guy. He's looking out. We're gonna get one track on his neck right there. and add another tracker onto his shoulder right there. So we got 2 trackers. Okay, and then track forward. And track. Oh. What happened? What? Huh? No. Okay, just track from there. I don't know. Mess that direction up. Is that working? Yes. All right, so no, that's not. I did that yesterday too. Adaptive mode is set to best. Both are selected. So we can just start from here, go forward. One more time. We're not getting a preview just because it's a 4K footage. So that's also a mistake, but whatever. We got it working. We'll bring this down. We can plug this into here, right? Or no? This into here? No. This here? We could disconnect this. Merge? No. Need render? Or, oh, I need to change this to the match move. Is that right? And then we plug this in. Plug it in. Plug it in. Yeah, you're right. You are right, sir. Merge this into a 3D render. Yeah. Bada bing, bada boom. Wait, that's not the way. We want to put this. No, we do. We want to put that onto here. Yeah. Then we got Honkat phasing in. Seems like the size of this isn't the best. But let's just see if we got this. You know what? I think we want to disconnect this tracker. We want to just make a merge. And then the like this footage. What do we do? We'd make a transform here. And then change the transform, connect it with the tracker. Connect to tracker one position. Okay. And now. Oh, you can see it's actually kind of doing some rendering. My camera blew up. It's too much for my computer. Oh god. Alfredo on YouTube says, first time viewer, looks like your camera is exploding. Oh, it needs to go needs to go further on the Z axis. I think, yeah, it does. It does look that way. Oh, oh, hold on. Alfredo, I'll try and update that if my computer can withstand this. It's too much. It's too much. Am I? Oh man, it's too much. Particles, they're tough. Can't wait until quantum computers come. Use a saver node. Let's try that. Let's try that. That's good. Yeah, saver nodes. That's the right thing to do. Huh, glitch. Oh, it's not called. Huh. Cyber cat. Save alpha to color. Isn't that what I want? If it's black, I guess I could work with that, but I want to export it as a... I want to export this with transparency, right? Flipping mode frame. You're right, man. It is. I think that's the right workflow. I just haven't used saver nodes before. So let's see. File, cybercat. All right, let's just export this and see what happens. You could also use pro hand. Pro hand. What's use pro hand, not high quality. Pro hand. What do you mean, man? What do you mean? But if we export this, let's try this one here. So we format and then saver node. Right, we come up here. What is it? Export savers, right? Isn't there a section here? Workspace. Oh, proxies. Yeah, that's proxy handling. Prefer. I don't know how to set the proxies up properly. I need to go check that. Do you know the way to like properly set up the proxies? Fusion, render all savers. Okay. Warning, render did not complete last frame, successfully rendered. Where did I put it? It's exported as an EXR. So here, video elements. Oh, cat. Let's try that one more time. Try that one more time. Huh, cat. We're going on to the desktop. Into huh, cat folder. Can't miss it. But it seems like we had trouble exporting that there. That's good. I mean, that's what we want. We go up to here, Fusion, render all savers. Okay, this looks like it's doing it. So Alfredo on YouTube is saying, next to your red loop, right click and a pop out will clear. Okay. Cool. So somebody's suggesting on YouTube to go over to set the proxies to pro hand. He says you could use pro hand, not high quality, or sorry, proxies. You can use proxies You can use proxies not high quality to reduce resources consumptions. And you gotta right click on the red loop after this is done. Oh, this is taking a while, man. Oh. Yikes. Okay, that's gonna just take too long. Let's see. So you were saying, like, if I go next to the right loop. Oh, okay. So here. Oh. Auto proxy or proxy? Both. Nice. That's good. I was wondering. I never. Yeah, sweet. Thank you so much. And now I think it's kind of in the background. Auto proxy makes it lower resolution while it's playing. It's pretty nice. This is what I've been missing the whole time. So playback over here. If we're up here and we go to play timeline proxy, is this just uncheck the first two options? Thank you. Thank you. That's a big one. It's still gonna render too long. Well, I feel like this is, yeah. My camera's going out. Particles, man. Particles are tough. Tough to demonstrate on stream when it's like so glitchy. I mean, it doesn't help that I didn't know how to properly reduce this stuff, but kind of struggling here. And then to use the loaders, that's sweet though. I mean, that's like the two great things to come from today was figuring out how to set up loaders and then figuring out how to reduce the playback. Yeah, the glitch effects. What's that called? We manifested the glitch effect and it glitched everything. Yeah, like the combination of like glitch effect with honk cat is just bound for. This is too much. This is too much. Too much for my computer. You can also render cache to the node. That part I know, but this is like, this has to go to sleep. This thing. Let this chill. Let's just go back to playing around with basic particles for now. Are you familiar with particles, Alfredo? Because one thing I was trying to do was set up a basic vortex that has a center mass. So I don't know what force, like, is it gravity for everything to get pulled into, and then also have a vortex. So that was one system I was trying to set up. The custom force, the directional. We got tools, particles, P custom, P bounce, P vortex. So that region, because the way I thought this was going to work is like, or maybe the region needs to be like a tighter amount, like a tight point. You can use a cone and use the mesh as the base for your particles. So use a 3D shape and use a cylinder. The emitter. Set this to style. Okay, actually, let's bring it back. Do you know how to simply connect a 3D shape as the particle? Yeah, but before we get there, let's reel it back. Um, just simply like getting a cylinder as the particles being emitted. It is that okay. I need to set this as bitmap and plug this in. Bitmap style P. Where I remember it was like a P directional force, P render. On the particles you use the region as mesh and the plug is. Oh, the region. Loop. On the particle, you use the region as mesh and plug the cone. So it had to be mesh. Style region. Region is mesh. Surface. Controls. Uh-huh. And use the surface settings. So here, surface, particle, cylinder, material, transform. Man, this is particles are tricky, man. Rectangle, no, that's the region type. The mesh? Or how do we no, the region is for like the space that it's emitting from, I think. I'm trying to get the yeah. So the region, okay, I see. So that's not actually what I was going for, but I'm glad we established that because I'm clear about that now. Is we got the region. The region is like the space that the 3D system is being made in, and we had a cube, or no? Okay, yeah, we have a cube. That's the shape. If we set the region as mesh and the region type as surface, then this shape will make the region that it's happening in. And noise would be needed for the cloudiness. Okay, let's just keep. Okay. But do you know how to, instead of getting the cube as the region that this is rendering in, do you know how to get it to be the particles? Let's go through render in 3D. Need to have a camera. So for these particles, because I know with these particles we can get the we can get like a background here, and we can make a shape and plug it in like this. We can plug it in like that, and then we can set the style to bitmap. And then where the particles are the little squares that we made. I know how to do that, but I'm wondering if I can make the particles be a cube instead. Because right now they're 2D. They're 2D planes. 2D rotation. That. Oh, black and white. Arguably the best colors. Arguably. That's what. You need a replicate 3D node after the pre-render node. The P rendered. Okay, so on YouTube, Alfredo is saying that to add a cube that's simple, you need to replicate. You have to add a replicate 3D node after the P render. And then on the replicate 3D node, you add the 3D mesh. And the mesh needs to be somewhat small. Okay. So at this point, and then we're going to add the particle emitter is here, and we add the particle, the shape here. Well, that seems not intuitive. There's been so many of these things. I'm so glad people are stopping by because there's quite a lot of things that are not intuitive. I think when it comes to particle systems, I think particles probably have their whole section. I don't know if we're going to be reviewing it. I think in the future we'll go into it a little deeper, but it seems like we found maybe a weak spot. Anyways, if we do the style to region, the mesh. So here in the replicate 3D, or is it here? We plug this in. Like at that point. Render definitely is at 3D. Scene. Sheesh. What? Now look at the 3D merge and you'll see the result. But so you're saying it definitely has to be here though? Like this? yeah. Yeah, Michael, man, you know, this is a tough one. This is a struggle day. Replicate 3D goes after the pre-render. Okay. And the P emitter. Oh, we got it. We got it. And the camera is like super close, or what? Oh, cool. Thank you. Thank you, Alfredo. Thank you. Cool. All right. We get a little win today. Thanks to Alfredo. Recap. I'm trying to like wrap my head around this. This is the part that actually. Oh, I get it. Oh, I get it now. Okay. Oh man, that's not so intuitive. Here it is. Okay, so we have our P emitter. You can ignore this. The P emitter plugs into a render, a P render. And so we're rendering just the points. And then we plug the way we get these basically onto the points is after the P render. We add a replicate 3D. And we can plug our shape in. But that's mainly what's happening here. And that was confusing. But I get it now. This is the main part. You got your emitter, and you can mess with these settings like usual. Just play with this. And then you render it, you particle render it. And then you attach your shape to each particle and send it out. The neat thing is that you can add more than one mesh into the replicate 3D, and the particles will inherit the mesh color. Oh yeah, now's the time. Let's add some color. Actually, this is what I was struggling to figure out all day. So we got there. We got there. And then we can add forces. But so it's like this is the section to mess with the particles. We can add the forces in between. get them actually, let's turn down how many are being rendered. Okay, there we go. So you can mess with the forces, mess with how long it goes, extend it out to go a little longer. While you're here, Alfredo, do you know, every time I start a project, I go like this. I start a Fusion clip right here, I put it over here, and then I put it back here. Is that necessary? Do you know? Is that how you start it? Because I lost the project before, so I saw somebody else do it like that, and I'm not sure if that's like needed. But really the main thing is you just can add in different forces. Proof of concepts? Cool, man. Check it out. I'm about depleted. My brain is almost depleted. I try to stream every day, except for Mondays from 7 till 10. Oh, somebody on Twitch is saying that I can. The question was like, to start off a project, is it necessary to go onto the edit page, create a fusion composition, bring that fusion composition into your media pool, and then bring it back onto the timeline, and then go into Fusion? I wasn't sure if that's the necessary steps. Not necessary, I'm being told. So you're saying you can do that? You can do it that way. So the starting in Fusion would be from 0, as of my knowledge, but it's not necessary. But I just need to make a Fusion comp and then hop into that, right? The vortex. Only need to add it to the timeline. Okay, cool. Good to know. Oh, spin, that's what I'm looking for. Get some spin. Particle. All right, cool. Well, my brain is depleted. Today was a battle, but we got through it. I'm gonna end it here for today. We've got only one more chapter tomorrow, and then we're done with the fundamentals. Then we evolve. Then we upgrade. But tomorrow we're going to be going over some things about optical flow and stereoscopic nodes. And it's a 10-page section, and then we become the Gamma Slammers. We become the next level. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for stopping by. Check out your channel. But yeah, I'm streaming daily, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys again. Peace.